They call a podcast Poppy. Kinkos, I see they tryna copy. Diamonds in the chains, bust down wrists. And you ain't never seen no like this. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop, whole game in the chokehold. I be out on a late night, opposite a play fight. See slime break night, this break night. My wristwatch is like a brake light. And you can get it right on your gravesite. So tell me something I don't know. $50 pizza when I'm eating in Soho. I heard that you in love with the stuff in your in them. Hate me, they hate me. What should I do? Keep getting money. It's funny, I was just like you. Super Bowl Sunday with the facts. Security guard told Kevin Hart to relax. Oh! Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop, whole game in the chokehold. Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. What? Tell me something I don't know. Like when it drop, whole game in the chokehold. I reinvented myself. They sorta hated it. I reinvented.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, fourth-year quarterback Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. A moment ago, here was the scene with the Cowboys emerging from their tunnel. It was loud. It's still loud. We're ready for football as the Cowboys get set to match up with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden, joined as always by Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Cowboy team entering play. They come into this one off a bit of a clunker last time out, a loss that ended their 5-game winning streak. On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
Carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Power running by Zeke. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it could be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
Now a play fake here on first down. Flush to his right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Vinny Curry able to get in there and take him down for a loss of 3. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
And the offensive starters for Dallas.
This offense begins and ends with Ezekiel Elliott. He played in only 10 games last year after leading the league in rushing as a rookie, but still led the league in rushing yards per game for the second year in a row. When he gets his hands on the football, everyone comes to the edge of their seat.
Third and long for Prescott. Looking deep in the direction, and that's caught inside the 30. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. That one goes for 36 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
A first down carry by Elliott. And down inside the 15 he goes. The numbers for Zeke from last week: 18 carries, 87 yards.
And a rushing title is definitely within sight, so the excitement on the offensive side of the football, I mean, they're bouncing off the walls wanting to get out there. But they also understand that they're going to face some really stacked defenses down the stretch because they don't want it to happen at their expense.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Cowboys take it all the way down the field and score on the opening drive. That touchdown certainly a welcome sight. Remember, they were shut out last week. They talked to us about getting early momentum. Well, here you go in the opening quarter.
Got to rebuild confidence, because when you get shut out, I don't care how strong you are mentally, you've got to take a step back and say, okay, what just happened here? Because nothing that we were doing worked well enough to get into the end zone, and that's a nice confidence-building drive, one that puts it in the end zone to give them an opportunity.
The extra point splits the uprights, and it's now a 7-0 game. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it culminates in a touchdown run by Ezekiel Elliott. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. On the return, this is Jaquiz Rogers. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Onto the field comes Jameis Winston in the Tampa Bay offense. And for Winston this season, the touchdowns and interceptions right about even. The question, will he be wearing a Buccaneer uniform, Charles, once training camp 2019 hits?
I do believe that he will, because when you look at quarterbacking around the league, when you look at the draft coming up in 2019, he provides a much better alternative in that case than most people would. So I think that they're going to continue to work with him, give him one more opportunity in 2019. And I thought down the stretch in 2018, he did make improvements in his game.
Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Now it's a bootleg with Winston. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd and short. And a peek now at the offense for Tampa Bay.
And my eyes immediately go to Mike Evans. 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons to begin his career. His numbers may have dropped a little bit in 2017, but he commands respect from every defense with his height and his ability to run downfield and make a big catch.
On 3rd down, it's Barber. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle, and frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play-action fade.
After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 8 yards there on the carry, and now they're left with a much more manageable 3rd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
Plenty of things to talk about here, partner, but to me, their defense gave up a touchdown on the first drive. How about how they're responding, coming back? That's a big 3rd down pickup to keep their drive alive.
And this one caught by Cameron Braid. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. At the end of one, 7-0 is our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the second quarter. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. And they'll run it here. And an alley to run. He's able to work free for about 6 down to the 18.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Ready. Blue 80. Let's go.
And they'll go on the ground. Now he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Now this drive, they're 2 for 2 on 3rd down conversions, but they need 7 yards here. Now whistles here before the snap. Looked like one of the Bucs may have moved.
False start, offense.
So that'll back them up 5.
Still 3rd down.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long.
Ready. Blue 80.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. And that is incomplete. A little too much oomph, too much mustard there on that pass.
They really turned it loose, didn't they? Really cut loose with that one. Sharp, strong. Didn't lead to a completion, though. Made it very difficult.
So on comes Cairo Santos now for the field goal try. From the left hash mark, this a 43-yard attempt. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. So I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. They'll be looking to get in the end zone again. Had the touchdown, as you see, last drive on 4 carries. And during the break, we were looking at some of the replays from the previous drive. Really good holes created, great space.
Yeah, I like the observation you had, though, during that break about
Ezekiel Elliott going to take it the distance. The 20, 10, touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Cowboys are able to show off their quick strike ability. And with that carry, he's already over 100 yards here in the first half.
And, partner, you know exactly what he's saying to his teammates right now, right? Especially to the play caller.
Give me the ball.
Again, and again, and again. It's not that heavy, sir. I'll take it.
Extra point attempt to come here. Point after, right down the middle. And that pushes the lead up to 11. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Rodgers on the return. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. As Tampa Bay works their way back out here on offense, you think about this year in total, Charles. Last year, 5-11. This year, they're going to be under 500 again. As 2018 wraps up, what do you think the offseason brings in Tampa?
I think it brings a lot of question marks and a lot of conversations for the ownership of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because if you look at what they're doing right now offensively, a few tweaks, and they're one of the most dangerous teams in the league. Their numbers suggest it even now when they turn the ball over too much. Can they bring in someone who can fix the defense? If so, they believe they've got an immediate contender in the NFC South. So they've got to decide, do they have the right people in place in order to make that happen in 2019?
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. Now a second down throw for Winston. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
Brandon, they didn't get everything they wanted out of that play, but the tight end did. And I don't mean it in a positive way. Great job of him holding on after absorbing that big hit.
On third down. That's Barber, and he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
That's about what you would expect since they're so efficient on picking up third downs in the top 5 in the NFL. It's all a mindset, and I guarantee you, it started in the offseason. Third down's important to them.
And the defense loses him. It's complete. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Deshaun Jackson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bucs have made this a one-score game. Well, you know he can be explosive, and he's ultra-explosive there on the fly route.
And you know how many times we've talked to coaches and we've had quoted back to us, well, you know something? When you execute really well, it doesn't matter if they know it's coming or not. But sometimes athleticism beats you as well. He just took off and went. And that's almost like one of your Turkey Bowl games, isn't it? Just go long,
Backyard.
man. I'll hit you. And it worked really well for them.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and that makes it a 14-10 ball game. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent. The blocking's been terrific. And obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down. Well, he's broken off some big-time runs here in this first half.
Yeah, and let's just face it. When you go into a game, you think you've got the plays that are going to work, but when you actually get out there and they're starting to happen, your confidence rises, and he's running with terrific ability right now.
And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. A minute 57 to go in this first half. We're back to Arlington right after this timeout. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. To throw is Prescott, escaping the pressure right. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's third down. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. And now the Bucs deciding to take a timeout defensively, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. And no move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. They'll run it with Elliott. And now running right through it. Still going. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The conversion is successful with a sizable gain of 13, and the decision to go for it looks like a smart one.
That type of run right there, that just fires me up when I watch it, because that's maybe the most underrated aspect of his game. The ability to break tackles and know where the first down chains are and pick them up.
He's tough, good pedigree. Dad Stacy was a linebacker at Missouri.
Yeah, and how about Mom on the track team? So I think that's where the speed came from. And she's not shy about letting us know that, too.
Yeah, I got the best of both worlds. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Prescott looks to throw on first. Letting one fly deep for Cooper. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. And, boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did incompletions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Prescott from the gun. And he'll have his man. That's Cooper. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 19 yards that time for number 19.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper and we mentioned, what if they play man coverage against you? He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what he said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Amari Cooper with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it.
Let me go ahead and show my age a little bit. I liked it when they would fake it from the 3-yard line, right? When you'd line up, go ahead and, oh, there's a fake, and he's going to get 2. That's great. But from the 15, the risk-reward is just not there.
So risky to get 15 yards on a fake. Well, you see the result right there.
Yeah, I know these young whippersnappers are trying to do different things in this game, but let's go back to old reliable. Kick the ball through the post.
Get off my lawn.
That's darn right.
Second quarter onside kick there that failed. Is that something that maybe they had dialed up before this game started?
It feels like it, doesn't it? That they thought they had the right situation, you know, and the right approach in going after it. Also may signal that they feel like they have the superior team, that they can try these sorts of things and it won't come back and hurt them later.
Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. The partner just looking at some of the struggles they've had this season. The playoffs are not in their future. As they start to peer toward the offseason, what moves might they make?
I think the running back position, and I know we talk all the time about the NFL being a passing league, but the teams that run the ball effectively, they're the ones that go deep into the playoffs and go to the Super Bowl. They have to upgrade here. And you and I both know in recent years in the draft, people have shied away from taking a runner early. But if there's that special one there, I say they go get him.
Second down, Winston. It's caught by Mike Evans. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He connected on his first. This time it's 39 yards away. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. So on comes Cairo Santos now for the field goal try. And remember, he had one blocked earlier. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. So we have come to halftime here in Dallas with the Cowboys out in front. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The weather might be cold, but the playoff races are heating up here on this final Sunday before Christmas. So let's get to it. We'll kick things off with an interconference matchup. The New York Giants on the road at Indianapolis. And those two are tied up as they play the second quarter. From there, let's get to Philadelphia. We check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. And they've got the lead over the visiting Houston Texans. Darren Sproles, 2 touchdown runs on the afternoon. Finally, let's get to the country music capital of the world. See what's happening with the Titans at home in Nashville. And they were losers in their ball game as they fall to the visiting Washington Redskins. Colt McCoy, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Rodgers on the return. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start in the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Right back to him on first down. And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Now whistles here before the snap. Looked like one of the Bucs may have moved.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards.
Still second down.
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. Second down and long. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Winston now from the 50. And break, the tight end's got it. And he'll get it down here to the 43. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Winston to throw for it on 4th. Open man has got one. It's complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. Well, they deemed it 4-down territory, and they got 4 yards to pick up the first.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Winston. Incomplete. Another incompletion with that one. He's just 7 of 14 throwing the football, 50%. Typically not going to get it done, is it?
And let's just make it simple, and that's exactly why they trail.
So line of scrimmage still the 39 on 2nd and 10. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Third and long for Winston. He's going to let this go deep for Jim. And this is caught inside the 5. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Deshaun Jackson, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Bucs are able to make this a close game again.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
Santos with the extra point, and that will get him 1 closer. That time a 9-play drive, and it's all finished off with a touchdown by Tampa Bay. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. On the return, it's Jordan Lewis. And he spins through. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again. We get a look at Amari Cooper as he heads back out there now. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good. But there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, and when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
Noah Spence in on the stop.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. On 2nd down, Elliott. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. Stop made there by Gerald McCoy.
Gerald McCoy is always going to be linked with Ndamukong Suh. They came into the NFL in the same draft class. There's a lot of debate about who was going to be the better defensive tackle. They just do it 2 different ways. McCoy, more movement, more elusiveness. That allowed him to make the play there for a short gain.
And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. Prescott now. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that one incomplete. They try to sneak in a deep ball with the clock running down, but to no avail as time will expire on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now here on EA Sports. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these 2 teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. The Cowboys will go. Prescott looking deep in the direct. And that's caught inside the 30. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Hey, nothing to see here, just your standard fourth down gain of 28 yards. And the drive keeps going. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now back to the ground with Elliott, able to push his way through. And now he spins free. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Again, it's Elliott. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. Oh, incomplete. Nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Looks like the offense is going to take another shot here. They're going on 4th and 13. Now Prescott. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Amari Cooper, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. Wow, talk about a big 4th down conversion for the score defensively. How do you let that happen?
I think you start with the offense and you give them credit for going for it and having that type of, well, let's face it, audacity. But defensively, I think you're right on target, partner. There's no way something like that's supposed to happen in that situation. You're supposed to be able to shut that down and get the ball back for your own team. Instead, they give up not just a big play, but a touchdown.
Now the try here for the extra point. Extra point right down the middle. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So the drive goes 75 yards, 10 plays. And it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Charles, this one not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points. Said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range. And guess what? They've got a shot.
False start, offense.
Maybe anticipating a blitz, and they jumped.
Yeah, and if we saw it, you know that they saw it. The bad guys might have been coming on that play. Had to pick them up, and they jumped.
A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15.
Ready? Ready.
Working out of the gun, Winston. He hits Rodgers in the flat. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. Give him 2 yards on that play, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a one-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown.
Let's go now. Ready? Ready.
Now Jameis on second down. Throwing for his running back, and he's got it complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Jameis now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Ready.
Winston now. Right side caught by Jackson. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback, but when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. The Buccaneer first, Winston to Brate. And in a 2-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
Let's go now. Ready. Blue lady. Let's go.
Jameis now on first down. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. Now Winston. And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. As they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. Jameis to throw it. Over the middle to Evans. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A good pickup there of 22. Winston to throw. Throw right side, taken in by Godwin. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down.
Ready. Blue lady.
Winston. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down. Here's Winston. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Clock running. The Bucs try to go quickly and get set. Desperation time. Winston on 4th down. This is caught by Jackson. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. Deshaun Jackson, 33 yards. And the Bucs have made this a one-score game.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
Santos able to tack on the extra point. On the NFL scoreboard there in the fourth quarter in Philadelphia. And an impressive display by the Eagles. They continue to pour it on, scoring again. Darren Sproles, 2 touchdowns on the ground to help lead the way. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. He'll get this to the 40. Sweet little juke in there. Got him some extra yardage. Now the Buccaneers go ahead and take another timeout, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. So they come up on second down. If they can get another run like we just saw, would likely put an end to this thing. They go to Elliott again. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. The Bucs forced to use their third and final timeout, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds left to go. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. The give is to Elliott. And he's got some space here. And he'll get this one down to about the 20-yard line. Call it a gain of 11 yards, and that should just about do it.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And we've got a timeout. 9 seconds remaining. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. Throwing here, Prescott. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go. Amari Cooper, the intended target. And now it's 3rd down.
I guess they figure with a guy who is that hot downfield, who knows how to get the ball into the end zone, you throw it up and give him every opportunity.
And this is caught. And that could seal it. It's a touchdown. So a little icing on the cake there before the clock hits all zeros.
What a way to finish things off. Exactly what you want. Not much time and a touchdown to put things away.
So Dak will bring the Cowboys up to go for the 2-point try. Prescott. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
And the Buccaneers able to recover. Their hands team does its job. I'll call it a convincing win here in this one, and we had some interesting plays throughout. Maybe one of the most interesting, ending the game on an onside kick. They actually recovered it, but it didn't really matter.
No, you're exactly right, and maybe they just wanted to work on something, right? Even though it wouldn't have affected the final score, you work on it, you get it, you feel good about that. But I remember I had a coach who said, I don't waste those onside kicks. You don't get many of them anyway. Let's not use it when we don't need to.
So for the Cowboys, it's a critical win for them as it gets them to 9-6 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the New York Giants. Meanwhile, for the Bucs, they hit double digits in losses as they fall to 5-10. And they'll be at home for one next week as the Atlanta Falcons come to town. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Cowboys as we sign off and say so long from Arlington.